Let us share a love story for the ages. It begins like all great tales of heart and passion do, with hope to feel more, do more, and be more. And of course, it includes a cast of characters, starring John Zilverberg, the handsome Marine from Highmore, South Dakota, with a shy, quiet smile, his beautiful bride Dorothy, and his adventurous and energetic, slightly older brother. But this love story, it is a love affair with living and life itself, crafted over more than 11 decades.
And of course, when they find out I'm 100 years old, why, that makes me a celebrity.
Before Facebook, which John is on, John's claim to fame started simple. On his dad's ranch in northeast South Dakota, the land he would inherit, where success comes from a combination of patience, stubbornness, and sweat. Because from our first breath, life becomes a competition, racing a clock we cannot see.
When I was young, of course, all these old people looked awful old to me. I didn't think they were very capable of anything, but I just decided I wasn't going to be that way.
So almost 30 years ago, he decided to start competing in the senior games. Because in this legend, time, it becomes the protagonist. And as age ages itself, what used to be so old suddenly becomes so young. And each new year brings an urgency to do more in less time, and yet the wisdom to know when to slow down and enjoy it all.
Yeah, the competition is very tough when you get past 100.
And for John, time also gives you an edge on the competition. Faster, stronger, smarter, all ways to beat the opponent. For this retired rancher, you can also just outlive them.
Well, I like to be doing something. I never was much good at sitting around, not doing anything.
And not doing anything looks like this. At the senior games in Rapid City, this great-grandfather, cheered on by his daughter and son-in-law, also AARP eligible.
Well, I quit playing golf with him because I couldn't beat him. Yeah, he is really a competitor in everything that he does.
And he's become as identifiable for his trademark cowboy hat as his competitive spirit.
His hat, yeah, you always look for that hat. And one of those hats is bronzed to put in the Hall of Fame, Hereford Hall of Fame. So, yeah, and he wears that hat all the time.
A humble crown for the reigning champion. During beanbags, while it's hard to see,
57, he got 50.
His eyes brim with competition, and there's little conversation.
As my sister said, he gets a lot of energy when he's ready to compete, so it helps, you know. You got that adrenaline flowing.
Especially when it comes to playing pool against an opponent a generation younger. It's one of the few times John's hat comes off and his hair comes out. Enough to make men half his age jealous.
Well, there's less people in his age group, obviously, and so it's harder. And even at home at the senior center, you know, there's just not that many people around to come and play pool, which is really his passion. He likes pool and golf and that, but to find somebody to do it with you when you're 100 is another story.
85 I started. My brother went the year before, and he told me about it. I didn't know about it then at the time, but then the next year I started. And we worked together on doubles, on bowling, and different things while he was alive.
And when his brother passed away, he went from doubles to singles. And while he kept chasing life, the course changed slightly when just a few years ago he gave up running in the contests.
Well, he keeps saying that he's getting wore down and the legs aren't like they should be. And
well, he's, you know, fallen off of a horse and in a truck accident when I was a little girl, and so he has had injuries way back when, but not recently.
I guess the biggest thing is once you start something, you keep at it and do things that way.
And the fields he grew up around turned into a different field, where he tracks his success not by the head of cattle sold, but by the inches in the hammer throw. And his luck at winning carries over, even at horseshoes.
I still drive my own car and pick up and cook my own food most of the time, and I got a big garden, and I furnish the senior center with a lot of the vegetables.
And tell you this one thing, we was having a Thanksgiving dinner at his place when he was about 85 years old, and he called in and said, "You're going to have to eat without me. I'm roofing my house out on the farm." So that's the way he is. He's does what he wants to do, and he gets it done.
And as for all things getting better with age,
I think I'm past the getting better part. I'm happy now. I keep up.
but with any love story, as with this tale of a love of life, it doesn't end here, for the chapter that comes next is yet to be written.